New Plymouth is the most fantastic region. You've got the mountain in the morning, you've got the sea surfing in the afternoon. What about the people? At the launching of Shell Motunui, Shell Maui, at Ohanui. At that time, Shell was a contract signed between Warren Freer, who was Minister of Energy for Labour, and Shell Chairman International. That deal was signed at Ohanui. Robert Muldoon came into power a short time later, and there was the first oil rig ever built in New Zealand, off the shore of Taranaki. One of the Aokara was Mohi Wharepauri. Tainui, Waikato, Maniapoto, Taranaki. I always remember fondly sitting by Mohi. And he stood up and he said to Robert Muldoon and the chairman of the board, "Pāhea, you bring a taniwha and you put it into Tangaroa. You upset Tangaroa, you upset me. From this day forth, whatever you do, we be watching." All those years with Maui, Robert Muldoon with Motunui Think Big, under the direction of his Minister of Energy, Hugh Templeton, who pushed Taranaki on the map for energy under the national government. And then what went with it is what we the people hold on to today. This employment for our people. I don't think any of our people have ever reaped the rewards of the energy. I don't think we ever will. Apart from the employment opportunities for our generations of today. That's why it always gives me the greatest privilege when the oil companies ring me and ask and invite me out to one of their rigs to bless it before they anchor it up and start drilling. Well, it gives me pleasure when I go on board those rigs. I always think of my boy, born and bred in Taranaki, Whakapariaka. One of our boys. I can still hear the words of his mum and dad and his auntie when we laid him to rest. This is why I feel that we as a people, we will never get anything from these energy companies but what they have given us. It's the spirit of our boy to whom drove and is driving today. A number of our Māori and our descendant of Māori workers on those rigs. Because Fraser was unique. Not because he died, but how they were selected and the criteria they had to go through. So when I go out to those rigs, I see our boy in every one of those men. And I could honestly say, every time they know I'm coming, those boys put on a pointy. You have to be there to see it. So for energy in Taranaki, for our future, we cannot go away from it. But I personally believe now that the oil companies throughout Taranaki, now picked up by those around New Zealand, then our people and our boys are there to stay. So if the oil industry can acknowledge, accept, and which I've taken on board, stability for the generations to come is not only sponsorship for this organisation and that one and so forth, but also it's the sponsorship of our people's initiatives to work together. We have to address open-mindedly. We need to follow up continually so that it never ever be lost off the radar. The pristine image to which New Zealand is promoted throughout the world has to start here on our back doorstep. Cleaning up the image of Waitara is to give it a recognition that Waitara is not the poor cousins of New Plymouth, but Waitara are people who are proud. They unify together, they work together. Is to give them the respect and the mana. If we are to look after our environment, then first we start by looking after Waitara and bringing the sea back. Not listening to people with pieces of paper to say that it's quite okay. I've heard that argument for years. The first time I'd heard it with Robert Muldoon's, when his consultants went to Hawaii Marae, after calling hui after hui, when they went at loggerheads with the people to draw the water from out of Waitara into Motunui and Waitara methanol. They gave all sorts of stories, but they never could answer a simple question. And that question was, if you say it's safe, will you drink the water? And if you do, that water's in the pitcher on the table in front of you. I always wondered later how come that those pitchers of water were not touched. Simply because not one of those pictures were taken from the Waitara River. And then it still continues with the sewage. It still continues with the Mātaitei. If it is to be addressed, the environment for the stability of our futures for tomorrow, we cannot wait. Because Mother Nature does not wait for us. So redress the Waitara sewage. Save the Mātaitei. Save the foreshore seabeds. If we can't do it, then step aside. Get out of the way. For our children, they know how to make it happen because they are learning to sing our songs. They are learning to talk our talk. They are learning what unification of a people are. They are experiencing it's not this one or that one, but there's all of us as one. Take the blinkers off. Go outside and have a good look. But don't look with your eyes. That's only temporary. You look by joining in, becoming part of and involved. Because it's along those lines that our future for Taranaki, collectively as a people, within industries, within environments, within the elements, if we work together.